Welcome to Revolution number 10, At the Table, a podcast where we're going to explore different solutions that just might change the world, from better or for worse.
We want to get you talking. We want to squash the status quo that certain topics shouldn't be discussed. That will make you go, huh, that's inappropriate. We want to encourage an open conversation.
We want to inspire analytical thought. Why? Because communication just might be the key. From feasible to nonsense. I'm Anna. This is Revolution number 10. You're at the table.
Action.
Hi, welcome to At the Table. Today, at the table, we're going to explore the possibility of how publicly humiliating douches, jerks, would possibly change the world. A tit-for-tat sort of reprimand system, I guess. And in my opinion, the concept started developing when I met this lady on the streetcar. She was visiting her son from PEI, really the type, really sweet and excited to be in Toronto. Yeah. So she comes once a year to play bridge with her friends, and she gets to take the streetcar and whatever. And she gets really excited. So she sits down beside me and we start talking. Yeah, it's adorable. She's like, the thing is, we went for lunch, all of us, 6 of us went for lunch together. And this one woman in the group of people that had gone for lunch, she didn't go into detail as to how this woman was treating, apparently, this server. Okay, so this is all directed at their wait staff. But you can imagine the type. I've been a server, you've been a server. We know the type that's kind of just being a little, excuse me, why are you acting like this, man?
Yeah.
I guess, in a way, she was trying to present herself as, a hero, right? To an extent, perhaps. Because she was and then I had to go up to the waiter and apologize for her behavior afterwards, and I slipped him some extra money. So that's where we go pinning a rose on her nose. Oh, good for you. You went and apologized on behalf of your asshole friend. And she's like, well, she's not my friend. And I said to her, because these things that we discuss here at the table are things that I've been thinking about for a while. So I mentioned to her, I said to her, did you say anything to the woman? And she said, oh, no way. And I said, well, then how is she supposed to know that 90% of the table think her actions are inappropriate? And the lady said, oh, no, she knew. We all just ignored her. While she's still mistreating this person.
Wow.
So here's the thing. Imagine the situation. We have all been there. I swear, whether you've been a server or you've been at the table with a bunch of friends and someone's being a fucking cunt.
Like an idiot.
A douche.
Just a douche. An
unnecessary douche. Okay, fine, you've had a bad day. We all get it at the table, but you gotta take it out on this whoever's working right now. Shut up, man. Anyway, these people, by sitting silently at the table, they think they're penalizing this woman, right? So let's go with the notion that she's unaware of her behavior. Okay, let's just go with that, because I would rather think that than think this bitch is maliciously being a douche.
For the sake of being a douche.
Right!
Yeah.
So let's just say she's a bit of a demanding person, and she doesn't realize that she's coming across so curtly, so harsh.
So rude.
Right. So then your silence isn't correcting her behavior. Right?
It's like silence is that omission that this is okay.
We're rubbernecking these bad manners and these bad behaviors with a scoff and a scowl, yet somehow we're not disgusted enough to actually address it in the there and the now.
Yeah.
But it got me thinking, though. It got me thinking about what could you do? It wouldn't be enforced by the law. It would have to be a community watch sort of thing.
Yeah.
Why do we immediately assume that the person is aware of their bad behavior? You know, and like, why do we think that she knows that we disagree with her? Because all she knows is the silence as well. Right?
Yeah.
So if anyone at that table, anyone human being said anything at all,
yeah,
even if someone would have just gone, hey,
Cheryl, that's not cool.
not even, hey, Cheryl, that's not cool. Just, hey.
Yeah. Simple as that.
And then she'll look and be like, what? And you can be like, yeah? Huh?
Do you think that's okay right now?
You know? And call, like, because I've been an asshole most of my life. You know? And definitely, I can think of moments when I was hangry that I have made servers cry.
Yep.
And, I mean, in turn, people have made me cry when I was serving them, too. So I got my just desserts. And so when I thought, I was like, well, this has to be the only way to illuminate these bad behaviors. You get to do this job, you know, for, you know, a couple 4-hour shifts a week. Like, and then we can apply it to all service industry. Like, if you're yelling at your hairdresser or your cab driver or your convenience store clerk or whatever. Like, let me define douche. And this is the term I'm using because it's like a douche. It's like, it's not a super reprimandable behavior. So like, you're a bully. So I wrote down a definition. My definition of douche. It's not in the dictionary. This is not official.
This is Annapropriate.
This is Annapropriate. This is the definition of douche that we are using for the purpose of this conversation. And you know, to perhaps enhance the feasibility of the solution, right? Okay, so I wrote down, being a douche, mistreating anyone, underlined, knowing or unknowingly, and then semicolon, because I am writing a definition. Actions that result in one person being or feeling personally attacked just because they happen to be in the line of fire.
Yeah.
So I think the most important thing about the definition of a douche is it's not a question of like an argument. Like, you're not, you know, arguing with your husband because you have all these, like, you know, pent up issues or whatever. Yeah. Like, it's like literally a stranger.
Innocent bystander.
An innocent, someone you've just sort of like crossed paths with.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, even if like someone bumps into you while you're walking past them on the street and you're like, asshole, you know,
you
like.
shove them because they shoved you. Like.
No, I think, see, I appreciate that you said that, Heather, because in my opinion, the bump wasn't the issue. The reaction was the issue. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's the bottom line on what the definition of douche would be in terms of what we're using here. That meanie bobini reaction. Like, you're just being a meanie bobini, and for no reason. Like, the solution that I decided was to reinstate a word that carnies have used when customers want to call shenanigans on a carnies game. What is a shenanigan? A shenanigan is like a trickery, like a thing that you shouldn't be doing. You know, you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
You made the rings on the milk bottle toss too small to fit over the bottles. Shenanigans.
Yeah.
That's a shenanigan. So you are kind of being a dick, being kind of a inappropriate. Like, what are you doing? And you just need to be checked.
Yep.
And so, shenanigans. Now, that's the solution, okay? So now let's go down and see how this solution would work. So I'm calling shenanigans on you, and I decided there has to be 2 or more people who are supporting your claim of shenanigans, okay? Because we can't just have people running around willy-nilly calling shenanigans left and right.
No.
And then I thought, well, how the heck are we going to do this? Because, like, when I first thought about, like, how would we humiliate public douches, and I was thinking about, like, why don't we just put them on a stage and, like, roast them? You know what I mean? Like, not, like, cook them, but, like, a comedic, like, comedically bully them, like,
the way they bully.
But then it's not really viable in this culture because people don't really give a shit what other people really think so much anymore, Yeah. So then, like, it has to be more personal at that level. It's got to be more personal. So here, boom, we'll put you in this situation and see how you fare. And so
like using the bridge ladies, like at the table, for example,
exactly.
That group of ladies, how would this concept, from beginning to end, how would it all roll out?
Okay, this is how it would roll out. So the lady, the douche is being a douche to the server, okay? And when the first person at the table thinks, ugh, that's making me uncomfortable, the way that this woman is treating this other person.
This waiter.
She can say, shenanigans. No, doesn't have to scream it out, because it doesn't have to be a big, like, and then I thought, I mean, it could. It's kind of funny, because that would add to the humiliation of it, I guess. But, like, do we want immediate reprisal, or do we want a communal reprimand? And, like, what would be more effective? Because if we are calling shenanigans and then the person has to deal with the issue 3 months down the road because we've decided on communal reprimand and we've got to go through a whole process, then it's gonna lose the punch, because that person who feels personally attacked may feel personally attacked because they've had a crappy day too. It has to be an immediate reprisal.
In that moment.
So, shenanigans on you, douche. Shenanigans on you. And then 2 other people go, I concur. And because there's 5 people at the table that think that woman was being a douche, all 5 of them would step up and say, I concur. So now we've got 1 claim of shenanigans and 4 support. Okay? So, because I believe the reprisal, not punishment, but the reprisal should fit the crime, because it's not about punishing that person.
No.
It's about illuminating their behavior. Look, man, how about we do this to you, and then you decide if you want to continue forward behaving like this towards people.
Yeah.
Did you not care? And that's why I thought, okay, we've got to make it more personal, because if all of a sudden, like, if you're a sociopath, you don't give a shit, and, like, I have no level, like, you can't humiliate and embarrass me. So if someone tried to humiliate and embarrass me, especially 20 years ago, I would have been like, I don't care. I don't care. Right? Like, so it wouldn't work. It wouldn't be effective. So just here, let's put you in a situation, and it's like, we don't want to take rights away. We want people to make their own choices based on different kinds of experiences. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone's ever done this to you. Let's do it to you.
See how it makes you feel.
And if you want to keep going that way, then go ahead.
Yeah.
We will continue to call shenanigans on your behavior. It's not like you only get 1 shenanigans. No. We're calling shenanigans all over the place.
Yeah.
But if that's how you want to live your life, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
If those ladies called shenanigans on the douche,
right,
and then everyone's like, "Yep, I concur." So then, what does she have to do?
So what happens then is the douche. Let's say the douche isn't aware of their behavior.
Yeah.
And they're a little confused as to why shenanigans were called on them, and they need a little explanation. What do you mean I was being rude when I snapped at them and shouted, "There's a fingerprint on my glass"? Whatever the person's problem was. So she's going to challenge the shenanigan claim. She's going to say, I challenge the shenanigan claim. I would like to know why. So, we explain to them why, and she still continues forth on the challenge. Mm-hmm. That douche needs to have the same amount of support as the claimant plus 2.
Yeah.
So at this luncheon or whatever, there was 1 claimant, 4 support. So the douche would therefore have to have 6 support.
Yeah.
And the challenge of shenanigans would go away.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
Then basically, and this is why we're telling them what the shenanigan is about, so that they still know what's up.
Yeah.
They still know, oh, this was kind of crappy.
Yeah.
Right? So then, let's say nobody supports the douche and says, no, man, you were a bit of a douche.
Yeah.
Sorry, no support for you.
Yeah.
So the idea is to turn the tables on that douche so they experience a similar level of like violation. Like the douche is doing the job and they're getting nothing for it. So it's even more like it's even more of a bit of a reprimand, like a bit more of like a see? You see?
Is it as easy as you thought it was?
Yeah.
No.
So then like I divided it into 4 types of douche because there's more than just like a service so I went more than just like waiters, right? It's not just about how you treat the people that serve you.
Yeah.
It's about everybody. So simplistically, as I have defined douche Annapropriately, I have also divided the types of douche into 4 types of douche. Like behavior, mannerisms. Where do these exhibit themselves the most?
Yeah.
These douchey behaviors.
Yeah.
So then I came up with the services douche, which would include like the waiter, what we just talked about. It would be like anyone who works in customer service, essentially. Anyone who I guess would be considered working for you or like a subordinate on some level, right?
Like minimum wage,
including your maid, your nanny.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, you know? And they don't get, that doesn't have to be minimum wage. Just someone who works, like, for serving you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So that person, that service douche, like I just said, this woman would work a minimum of 2 4-hour shifts in whatever job, wherever the person, I guess you could say, I don't want to say victim, I really hate that word victim, so what are we going to call them? The
complaint.
No, because the complainant is someone who's calling shenanigans. Or I guess you could call shenanigans anyway.
Yeah.
But the complainant, anyway. Okay, so
the recipient.
The recipient of the douchiness. I was going to say the douched.
The douched. Can we call it anyways?
So the douched person. so they would have to do the job of the douched person. And the reason I said a minimum of 2 is because if you only had 1 shift in that particular job, whatever it is, chances are you're not going to get the shittiest experience possible.
Mm-hmm.
You got to play the odds. Let's get you in there 2 to 5 times.
Yeah.
Chances are you will most certainly have at least 2 hellish experiences.
Yeah.
You know? And so it would depend, you know who would decide? The douched.
Yeah.
So we've got the claimant who can also be the douched.
Yeah.
But the claimant is the one who calls shenanigans.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Generally someone who is witnessing what's going on.
Yeah.
We've got the claimant, shenanigans, we've got the douche, and we've got the douched. All right? Okay. So.
The douchey.
So then the douched would decide how many shifts that person should work because they're also involved in that as well, right? So, okay. So then I came up with a transportation douche. I was trying to think of like the car, like the road wage guy, the guy that like zips past you to get to the red light, but just to make sure he's ahead of you, or the guy that flips you the bird for speeding, like whatever.
Not
like
using your signal.
The guy who doesn't give up his I'm sorry, the person that doesn't give up their seat on the bus.
Yeah.
The cyclist who's weaving in and out of traffic, like so I had to all encompass that particular type of douche. Mm-hmm. Blanket, the umbrella is transportation douche. Yeah. if you are on any mode of transportation, boat douche,
Skateboard douche,
bike douche, like whatever. So for car douche, okay, I came up with, so they have that thing that you can blow in when you have DUIs.
Yeah.
And that your car won't start unless you blow under whatever, right?
Okay, yeah.
So that's a little attachment they put on your motor. So we have the same idea. It's a little attachment you put on your motor that limits the top speed of your car to 35 kilometers an hour. To 35 kilometers for a whole week.
Wow.
So you're not being limited, but now guess who you are?
You're You're the people you're trying to avoid, get around, cut off.
Right.
I like that.
Stop and take some time, smell the roses. Motherfucker, where's the fire?
You need to get on the highway, carpool.
Right? Or you're going, maybe let's go with 40 kilometers.
That's usual school zone.
I don't drive, like it's got to be.
40 is more realistic.
Yeah, okay, 40. Because I thought school zone was 30.
Like 40, 50, that's the usual ballpark.
So yeah, so then we could say 40, 45 kilometers an hour. Okay? Top speed for a week. And then the thing's removed and on with your life. Now decide, how was that for you?
Yeah.
Still want to speed around like a freak? Go ahead. Shenanigans.
You and your sports car? Sorry.
So then, if you're a bike douche, you lose your bike.
Okay.
For a week. And we force you to take the TTC.
Okay. Yeah.
Because as a cyclist, when I have to take the TTC, after being free on my bike, the wind in my hair, and my ability to stop wherever I need to go, being on the TTC, our public transportation in Toronto, is literally the worst.
It's soul sucking.
It just illuminates the
privilege of having a bicycle.
Yeah, and how terrible people are on the TTC, because everyone's coming or going to work, so nobody's happy. Nobody's smiling. Everybody's pushing. Everybody's shoving. And that's like the most, I think, like, that's where people feel the freest, besides the internet.
Yeah.
To be a douche.
So faceless.
Because it's still faceless. Like, you can scream and yell at someone. You're never going to see them again.
Like the bus driver.
Right. Or just random person who bumps you on the train.
Yeah.
Huh.
You knocked my shit over.
Right.
How dare you? We hit a speed bump. What do you want me to do? I fell into you.
So then, that being said, if you're a public transportation douche, you cannot claim a seat on any mode of transportation for a week, no matter how far the trip.
Wow.
You ain't sitting down.
Nope.
You are standing up.
No matter how much stuff you have in your arms.
You don't even get a seat to put your bags down.
No.
How does that feel? Your legs hurt? You didn't let that little old lady with a cane sit down and somebody called shenanigans on you.
Yeah.
Because you should have moved without somebody having to tap you on the shoulder. Okay, so transportation douche, services douche, social media douche.
Ooh, there's a lot of those.
A lot.
That's a big umbrella too, like the transportation umbrella.
Yeah.
It's like a huge...
Social media douche, I guess, would be just, like, like, we all have people who just always have to reply. Like,
always.
And, like,
have something
and it's
say.
always the same person, and you always roll your eyes, because you're like, of course, so-and-so's gonna reply. What are they saying today? Oh, you shat on my parade? Great. Of course. Thank you.
Took you 5 minutes faster this time to reply.
Yeah, I barely even hit post. Right? Like, so anyone who's, like, trolling, not online bullying, not like to the extreme. That has to be a different level of reprimand. This is just, like, the same application. Knowing or unknowingly, just being a meanie bobini. Being a douche. Shenanigans. So somebody calls... So for the social media douche, I was like, what would really get someone who who spends all their time trolling online to say mean things to people.
Like every day, hours and hours.
What would affect this person? And then likes. Like, what is so important about likes? Validation.
Yep.
So you don't know when it's going to happen as the social media douche. But once shenanigans are called on you as a social media douche, we go in and there's whatever algorithm computer geeks like can come up with that are just like doot. Here's put this little program into your computer. We don't even have to be there. We can just remote put this like program on your computer, right?
I'm really enjoying your computer sound effects. Do.
Yeah, that's the noise it makes, right? When you put a program in a computer, does it make that noise?
It's not a floppy disk anymore. Churning butter or some shit.
Yeah, so then you don't know that this is happening. I mean, obviously you're going to catch on. But the program that we put in your computer quietly is one that is going to blind the social media douche from any validation that is received on their social media accounts for a week forever.
Wow.
So like, let's say they go to somewhere important and meet someone famous and hang out with them on a private island for a week. And they're posting all these crazy photos and we're all liking them and we're commenting all these amazing comments like, wow!
You got to meet The Rock!
Wow! I thought they went to The Rock. Hilarious. That would be the best though.
A private island for a week? Thank you.
With The Rock? Yeah. Like, yeah. And you, the social media douche, for the first few days of all these amazing stories on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, what do kids do, Reddit, Tumblr, whatever.
Yeah.
And so you're like, why isn't anybody liking my shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we are. But you can't see it. And then when that week is over, you can't suddenly go back and seek out the validation from that missing week.
No.
So you know what we just did to that social media douche? We made them invisible.
Oof.
They don't exist. If people aren't liking your posts online, you are nothing.
Wow.
This is like a common sort of concept amongst, I don't even know who it is, like the youngsters, I'd want to say. But then there's like 50-year-old housewives who think it's just as important to get like 15 likes because they only have 50 friends. But you know what I mean? Like those 15 likes are just as important to them as 150,000 likes for Miley Cyrus or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure she gets more likes than that. Anyway. Okay, so then we went over the transportation douche and the services douche and the social media douche. And then there's the douche. Ooh. Just a douche. For the sake of being a douche. Ooh. And I've got here in brackets bully, but it's like it's not like the typical like push you down bully. Mm-hmm. I guess archetype of the douche would be pre-President Donald Trump. Would be the Apprentice Donald Trump. Mm. He's a douche.
Yeah.
That's a douche. So because that douche behavior is super sort of, I believe, kind of animalistic, because you're just like no level of humanity within you because you just think you can be a douche to other people knowingly. Oops.
I just pooped a little.
So you're being intentionally disparaging. You're being intentionally...
You're digging the knife in deeper just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, it's one thing to be like, hey, can I get my drink, please?
Yeah.
And it's another thing to be like, you are an idiot.
How dare you do this?
Yeah. Right. That's the douche. I guess. I mean, I hope that's clear. So the douche gets an electric collar.
Ooh.
A la I believe South Park did a parody of A Clockwork Orange with Cartman, and they put a collar on him, and anytime he was a douche, they shocked him. And that's what the douche needs.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, where it's like, it's Caesar Malone. It's like the dog whisperer.
It's like a corrective dog collar. Yeah, he's the dog whisperer. Yeah, that's the episode.
That's what it is. And he comes, and I know what scene you're talking about, where he's like on the leash, and he's like, it's like shut, and then and like Caesar's telling his mom, like, nope, don't acknowledge us, don't. And it's like, but eventually he actually
refined his behavior
and calms the fuck down.
Yeah, like so the electric collar would respond to that shenanigan behavior.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how we would do it. I'm not a scientist or an inventor, but there's the idea for you scientists and inventors out there, so that we can turn this into a really feasible notion, right? Then invent that dog collar that corrects behavior. Because I don't want to limit people's freedoms. I don't want to limit your freedoms and say, look, you can't be a douche. It's illegal to be a douche. What we're trying to say here is, yeah, you know what? Here's the score, man. We're all in this together. We all live on this planet together. That's it. That's it. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. So
learn to get along.
It's hard for fucking all of us, man. Yeah. Why can't we all just do a little bit every day to make just to make life easier?
Yeah.
Easier. Let's make life a little easier. So here, douche, I want to deal with your douchey shit.
Well, I mean, if we do it to animals already, like, why can't we
do it to humans?
Because it's like, if you are saying that animal is out of control, this is the only thing that's going to, like, fix it, essentially, we can do that to humans too.
Absolutely. You know? Why not?
Why not?
An animal doesn't have the choice.
Yeah, we do it on their behalf, so why can't we call shenanigans on someone who is acting like an animal?
You're out of control.
Yeah.
You're out of control.
You're not killing anybody, but you're still an asshole. You're still a douche.
You have been in a bad mood for 4 months.
Yeah.
And you're just douching on everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that electric collar would be unlimited until you recognize the behavior has been modified. So let's say after a week, we remove the collar for 24 hours. See how you're doing, douche. Because the point is, we're trying to get douche either to stop being a douche, to recognize that that being a meanie bobini for the sake of being a meanie bobini, it's not conducive to the greater good. You are not helping yourself. You know, the minor gratification you might feel from being a meanie is very small in comparison to how good it feels to make someone smile. Aww. It's honest to God the best feeling.
That is true, though. You know, it feels good to know that you contributed to somebody and that you made them happy for a moment.
You know what, man? I like your shoes.
Yeah.
I like your shoes. And you're like, what? Thanks. I put these shoes on today thinking, I'm going to wear these flashy ass fucking shoes. I'm so glad that somebody noticed. You know, teeny tiny little things. And that's what being a douche is. It's like the opposite of that. And like, oh my God, my gym teacher told me in grade 5, and I don't know why, but this stuck with me forever. Try to give people warm fuzzies every day. Whoever you meet, you want to give them. You have unlimited warm fuzzies instead of cold pricklies. Okay? So I imagined like having these balls of cotton, like beautiful balls of like Horton Hears a Who kind of like things, right? And then this like ball of like prickly fucking fruit, like prickly pears, kind of like, but not pears because those are delicious. Like, so she said, one cold prickly will completely destroy 10 warm fuzzies. So if every day people are only getting 3 or 4 warm fuzzies and one person shits on them, all that goodness is gone. And now you know what you did? Now that person's going to go giving cold pricklies all over the place.
Yeah.
And you just made it worse.
Yeah.
And that's where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're just handing cold pricklies out left and right because it's like this punitive thing.
Yeah.
Well, you were mean to me, so I'm going to be mean to you.
Yeah.
Shenanigans!
Mm-hmm.
That's a shenanigan too. You can't be a jerk. If somebody's being a jerk to you, you have to call shenanigans on them.
Yeah.
You can't be a jerk back.
Yeah.
Because, whatever, I hate the saying 2 wrongs don't make a right because that's not even a thing. 2 wrongs don't make anything except for more wrongs. Like, it doesn't even make sense. But you're just perpetuating the shit by throwing cold pricklies back and forth. Like, so here's this thing. On a scale of feasible to nonsense, I really think that this could be a feasible solution to changing the world. Because even without, say, the tit-for-tat repercussions, if all of us just started reacting to those moments when we are less than impressed with someone's behavior. Because if you don't say something, they won't know.
And they'll just keep doing it.
It's tacit consent. You have to give someone the chance.
How can all of this change the world?
Well, Heather, it could definitely change the world because we would definitely be just like, instead of turning our heads away and whispering, that's really douchey, that person did that.
Yeah, can you believe that they did that?
But then I think that it could change the world if we just reacted, called them out, called shenanigans on that behavior instead of rubbernecking it and being like, whoa, like that manager is really mistreating their employee in front of me right now.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, ooh, like, oh my God, like she should not be talking to him like that.
Yeah.
Say it.
To them.
Say it to them. Say it to them. That's how this will change the world. But first, let's do this. Let's start calling them out on it. And if the behavior doesn't modify itself, then we can move forward to a more assertive and progressive, punitive form of punishing douches, reprimanding them by applying the shenanigan rule. That's why this would change the world. Because people would have the chance to stop being a douche. Because you know what? When I was a douche, and I was a douche for a really long time, and I didn't know I was being a douche half the time. There were moments when I was being a douche.
Yeah.
But sometimes I was merely being a douche because you're not giving me what I want.
Yeah.
And I want what I want.
Yeah.
And I want it now. And that's all that's swirling in my brain.
Yeah.
How you feel about me being that right now is irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
But if someone would have said, hey man, calm down.
Like, whoa, that's not
I
okay.
probably shouldn't have said calm down because I don't think calm down ever calms anybody.
No, it's the opposite.
You know, like, hey man, like, why are you acting like this right now?
Yeah.
And then because I'm not a douche, and because there is love in my heart and I am a kind person, I would have taken a moment to be like, why am I acting like this right now?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah.
You know, because I believe we all have that. But it's not a bad thing that our first reaction is us.
Yeah.
Because that's survival. Fine, cool. I'm not saying don't be selfish.
Yeah.
But I'm saying be aware and be considerate. And just, you know, if something makes you go inside, like that feeling.
Yeah.
say something. You gotta be like, hey, man, let's be logical about this behavior right now. Why are you screaming at the gas station clerk?
Yeah.
He has no control over the price of gasoline. Leave him alone.
It's just his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, I just think so. That's how I think this. Let's call it tit for tat.
Yeah.
Solution would work and be feasible. You know. This. My name's Anna.
I'm Heather.
And you're at the table.
Thanks for joining us, and can't wait to see you guys next time.